And now, our feature presentation.
And if you don't have the strength to dig them up after you've done all that work, just go to the grave and shoot in the damn grave. Kill them again. Because they didn't die hard enough. I don't have no respect for Mandela. The so-called Jews had their Nuremberg trials. They tried Nazi war criminals for war crimes. Where are our Johannesburg trials? If they had Nuremberg, where are our Johannesburg trials? Where we try war criminals and give them justice. Justice, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches, is the reward for good and the punishment for evil. Let me see what else this no good cracker said. I got his notes here. Damn fool. Hey, I'm going off to school to Harvard, Yale, and Columbia. They're financing me for revolution. I wish they'd give me some guns. Brothers and sisters, I have proven to you beyond any reasonable shadow of doubt. The evidence has shown, and let the evidence speak for itself, that Anthony Hilder is indeed not a devil, but the devil. The white man is not a devil, but the devil, and his history is written in blood. It's a grafted devil, skunk of the planet Earth. I love Winnie Mandela for putting rubber tires with gasoline and setting them on fire around the necks of snitches, stool pigeons, agents, rats, and provocateurs. And I say to the wife of Anthony Hilder, girl, you better get you a necklace. Girl, you better get you a tire. Girl, you better get you some gasoline and catch this cracker asleep and put it around his neck and set him on fire. The Holy Quran says, and when the Lord said to the angels, I'm going to place a ruler in the earth, they said, what would you place in the earth but that which would cause mischief and the shedding of blood? Another scripture, the Holy Quran, in the Holy Quran 20 and 102 says, on the day when the trumpet is blown, we will gather the guilty blue-eyed together. And the Holy Quran says, on the day when the matter is decided, Satan will say, I had no authority over you. I just called you and you came. So blame me not, but blame yourself. And so now the devil comes to you and calls you. You mean you gonna go? And then the devil will wash his hand when the wrath of God comes down. And he will say, as the Holy Quran says, I had no authority over you. I just called and you came. So blame me not, but blame yourself. The Bible, in laying it all out for us, tells us that the beast would have eyes before and behind. He'd have a grasp of history and would be able to look down the wheel of time. Ephesians says that we work against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. He already told you the crackers are in high places. They are the rulers of the darkness of this world. Now let me read a little bit for you from the book of Revelations. I've got to cover these things. In the 17th chapter of the book of Revelations, it says, and there came one of the seven angels which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, come hither, and I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. And so he carried me away in the midst in the spirit, in the darkness, and out into the wilderness, it really says. And I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of the names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of the abominations and filthiness of her fornication. And upon her head was the name written, Mystery Babylon, the mother of harlots and the abominations of the earth. 17th chapter of Revelation, 18th chapter. And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, is fallen. She has become the habitation of devils, the hole of every foul spirit, and the cage of every unclean and hateful bird. Another scripture says, come out of her, my people. Come out of her. For her sins have reached unto heaven. He says, come out of her. God is talking to his people. He says, my people. And my is the divine possessive pronoun in this case. Come out of her, my people, that ye be not receivers in her plagues, and that you be not partakers in her sins. And it tells you how these cities of this mystery Babylon, which is America herself, would be burned, absolutely and utterly burned. You can't save it, Anthony. The hand of God, the judgment of God has entered into the gates of America already. The death angels have entered in already, and they didn't get no grant from a Ford Foundation. They came straight from God himself. There is no way to save America. He keeps appealing to you as though you are an American, trying to trick you. And if you go for that, I tell you the way Malcolm told you, you've been hoodwinked. You've been had. You've been took. You've been bamboozled. If you let this cracker tell you that you are an American and that you should join with him to save America, I live according to the title of that great and illuminating book of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad called The Fall of America. I want to see America fall. The most honorable Elijah Muhammad, for the wickedness and the evil of the white man, the devil himself, he says America would burn for 310 years and take 690 to cool off. He said a handful of devils would make it out of the first judgment, a remnant of them, and would make it into Europe. If you do right, Anthony, maybe you can make it out of the first judgment and escape into Europe, as the God's judgment will strike America first. Maybe if you stop lying, you could get an extension of time, but ultimately God's wrath and judgment would reach Europe also, and you would be destroyed in Europe after a period of time. But at least you could get a stay of God's judgment at an extension of time if your nature will allow you to straighten up and stop lying so much. But a devil must lie. That's the end of the 20 minutes. Wow, they came fast. But we got 15 more. I got 15 more minutes on you, cracker.